Hey everyone, this is DJ.
And this is Ish.
And this is Season 5 of Pero Let Me Tell You.
Now, here on Pero Let Me Tell You, we like to bring you a cross-section of Cuban culture and everything that we represent. And you can't get more cultured than the ballet. And so as a result of that, we have with us Lorena and Lorena Feijoo. Feijoo? Feijoo? How did I?
Feijoo.
Feijoo. Dang it! And I even
get everything, so we're used to now.
And I even practiced it. I even practiced it beforehand. Damn it! Two absolutely. I mean, I don't know if it's the proper term, but I'm gonna say prima ballerinas formerly from the Cuban National Ballet, and they have since performed with ballets all across the world. And so thank you both for being here with us. I think this is the first time we've had a ballet sister act join us on the show for sure. Anything related to ballet. Thank you for joining us.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
No, absolutely. So, like I said, you're both actually from Cuba, not Cuban American like me. You were born in Cuba. You're from La Habana, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I read up on you both. Your mother was part of the Cuban National Ballet. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So when you guys started dancing, was it because your mom was involved with the ballet and so it was just kind of one of those, this is what our family does? Or was it that one of you started dancing before the other? Like, how did you just get involved with ballet aside from obviously the heritage of it?
¿Quieres tú o yo? Well, I guess it was more our mom's influence. We were always around tutus and ponchos just because she had to work and we had to be taken care of. Sometimes she would leave us with the costume mistresses at the theater. Yeah, our colleagues. She has an anecdote because that door would remain open sometimes. That she would be on stage on Swan Lake or something and hear our cry, from the ladies taking care of us. So we grew up really, pretty much at the theater all the time. And I think that's how, granted, every girl has a ballerina inside. 90% of girls have that little bug. And then being there all the time, it kind of grows on you. Mm-hmm. So I started first because although she thinks she's the older sister, I am the older sister that came out of my mom almost 4 years before her, but that's okay. I let her leave that piece, And then Lorna wanted to join and become a ballerina too. And my mom said, "Oh my God, I've already traveled because it's a very hard career."
Yeah.
And when you're,
I tried to follow her.
Okay, so you
was more for like do something because she doing that what I really wanted because
Okay.
I was before in gymnastic and things like that before ballet.
Okay.
She was hyperactive.
Yeah.
She was really like, I was reading what she was like in Chivichanas with the kids of the neighborhood going down our hill, because we lived in a hill street. So, but I think, my mom thought that having one as a ballerina was hard enough. Two was going to be impossible. And then there would be the competition between, or not even the competition, but one having to always follow the steps of the other one, and she didn't want that for any of us. And so my sister was very, determined to do what she wanted to do. So she tried her in gymnastics first.
Determined or...
Not what I want.
She was determined, or as we say, cabezona.
Cabezona. Oh, still.
I'm a Libra and she's a Taurus, so good luck.
She said good luck. And good luck with her too.
Anyways.
No, what happened is also that my father, because he was an actor,
Yes.
he I doing all the time like contemporary dancer because he always have the concern that what can happen and people gonna always compare both sisters in the same thing. So he always wanted like doing contemporary dance. But then I was playing in the work of my mom in the school, and they were doing the exam, the audition for the girls. Mm-hmm. And I just doing the test for doing. I really don't want to be a ballerina at that point. I was like testarudo to see what will happen. I think I'm gonna do that.
I'm starting to see a pattern. Yes.
And I did the test and I passed. And then my mom was like, "Oh my god, she did." So that's why we are here. But it's nice. What you're talking about before is nice. You know, the family in ballet, and that is what happened. All the people that we know, at least in Cuba, and I think in all the companies that we go, is that little kids. Like when my sister tells you the story about that she hear the crying, we pass each other the kids from everybody. So I think our kids or the kids of any dancer, that is what they learn because they are there in the company when the parents are dancing. So it's just pass the hands from another to another, and I think that's beautiful too.
No, and that's gorgeous. I mean, number one, it's a sense of community, but I think it's also just these are kids who, like yourselves, grow up surrounded by the arts. And that's something that, for many reasons, a lot of children don't get the opportunity to do, especially not at that level where you guys were, you ladies were literally in the arts. It's not even that, I went to a museum every other week. No. You were living there.
So
And I'm glad that you say that because, for example, in the school, we have a school, ballet school, and some of the parents sometimes punish the kid, don't go to ballet because you're doing something wrong. And I am like, why you don't punish it with the iPad?
Yeah,
With the iPhone?
yeah.
Why ballet? Ballet is culture,
And
Why would you do that?
ballet teaches discipline, much like all, many performing
It
arts.
is very hard discipline. It
Yeah.
is very hard and work as a team. It's so many, good things that when they say that, I say to the kids, let your parent that this is not a punish.
yeah, I think it's just an overall very well-rounded education because it also taps very much into your creativity and just allowing whatever the kid is feeling in the moment or being in contact with the music constantly, a sense of like you say, gathering and group and discipline. I can just horse around when I want to because there are other 12 kids paying attention, and so a number of things that it's like sports and arts really together join, like the symbiosis. It's very much athletes work with artists' minds,
Yeah,
and
and it's
athletes' minds too. So
Actually, our ballet is harder than soccer.
listen, I can kick a
or
ball.
baseball.
I can kick a ball. I cannot do point shoes. Okay, that's so
Well,
yes.
the
So
thing is that in ballet,
I agree.
You use everything. You use your brain to learn. You use your body. You use your everything because you need to count, remember choreography, hear the music. It's so hard.
yeah, no, it's a
It is
lot.
very hard.
It's a lot of
The
factors.
soccer is just kick the ball and run.
Although for our listeners who play soccer, your sport's hard too. Okay, we're not trying to create a competition here, guys. We're just no.
My husband is a dancer and he loves.
He's a football player too,
Oh, okay.
at heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
But talking a little bit about, the discipline, right, that is required. And again, as dancers with the Cuban National Ballet, obviously we're not talking about a ballet troupe that is rinky dink, right? I mean, it is recognized as, as one of the ballet troupes globally, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What was that like, that training? Because, we've all seen movies like, what is it, Black Swan and things like that, right? Where it's like the intensity, all the drama and the intensity and, and all of that. What was it like to train to become professional ballerinas? And, because, and you brought something up too, which said your parents didn't want you to have that following in the footsteps or that competition, but by its very nature, this is, there's only so many dancers on stage at any point, right? So you can have a troupe of 50 people. If the piece only requires 10, guess what? 40 of you are not performing. It's nothing, it's nothing personal. It's just dance. What was that whole experience like? And as sisters going through that intensity?
Well, because I was 4 years ahead, we kind of didn't go together in a lot of instances. So I was a little ahead. I would go to mid school when she joined on my
Right.
last year or something like that. So, but I think there is always a comparison from the audience, and they don't realize that's not necessarily good because we were all it's funny. I think we're very similar, but we have a lot of differences. So you can find both. You can find when we dance on stage or we even teach, like a lot of similarities, yet a lot of personality features that are very different.
Right.
Number one, the education in general, it was intense. I would say intense, but fun. I don't remember a day that I was not into it. So it was, like Lorna was saying too, the school had not only ballet classes, but character classes, folklore, gymnastics. Some groups go to do gymnastics because they're stretching the piano.
Music, French.
Understanding and reading music, French language, folklore. We did all of the Yemaya, that, folklore dance, African American.
And you need to be, no, I cannot say that you need to be excellent in all of them, but you need to have some kind of level. Because even if you are the best in ballet, but you are not have the kind of level in the others, you don't pass. So
You have to be well-rounded.
Yeah, they all counted. It was a very well-rounded, but we didn't think, ballet is really what matters, and the rest, they were very adamant about, you got to be at a good level on everything to be able to move to the next year. So it was challenging, but wonderful. And I mean, in Cuba, we didn't have any of the electronics or the extra environment that was, so we're very focused on, and Cuba is a country that loves dance on itself. They used to say that also classical ballet was like baseball, like the other side of baseball in Cuba.
It is true.
And, really, we were talking more about how did we display what we learned on stage and how was working together. We got to work together in a few instances. And people would compare us just because we were sisters. But I think, what people tend to think or thought in the moment we were dancing is that we were both very kind of strong dancers and very virtuoso. One was a little bit more lyrical than the other, but we were very similar. And I think we admire so much what the other one
I actually want to be always like her when I was dancing because Lorena have so different, how I can say, type of movement. The arms, her leg, her feet were talking. So I feel like, and that is what make a difference between one ballerina to another. It is just those little things or details that a finger, even for people don't understand, sometimes they say, why is this ballerina so beautiful? It's just a little more than make the difference from another. So she was for me a good, a guy or I don't know. An idol to see, to follow.
Right.
And I remember that, like you say, the school is very, very. The problem is that for us, ballet is a career.
Yeah, and I was actually going to ask.
It's not a hobby. It's not a hobby.
I was going to ask you that. At what point did you kind of look at yourselves in the mirror, as it were, and say, this is what I'm going to do. This is going to be my life.
After your 3 years in ballet, you know what you want.
Okay.
We start usually at 9 or 8 in Cuba, but
I think at your time 9, but then 10 always because they feel like kids are no
focus enough. It can be tedious. The beginning, it's a lot of holding positions
so much work.
And standing and pulling up, and some kids get bored.
Yeah.
But
a
I
lot
would
of
say
first position, second position.
And the difference is this. The problem is that when they doing tests in Cuba, they go 500 kids and only 15 pass the test.
Wow.
They take. It's the same in Russia, the same in Opera de Paris. So I think those kids are there because their mom wants you to dance, because you want to dance.
Right.
Because after my first year in ballet, I know it that I want. After my first. In the first year, no, but after my first, I said to my mom, I want. And she told me, are you sure? And I was, yes, I want. So, and it was hard because I was criollita. Whatever I eat, I don't have the same type of body that Lorena. Whatever I eat, my culito get big,
Hey, that is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing as Cubans, okay? We love that.
I love it. My husband loves it. What I mean is it is hard for a ballerina because ballerina is just a skinny girl. What is it? Mentally for everybody? Like
sí, debe ser un fideo. Like.
Un fideo, yeah. And I love spaghetti, so spaghetti was the worst to eat.
I just think, like in general, Latin women are not necessarily built to
Right.
dance. So
Right.
it requires a bigger, like you kick a Russian or you go to a supermarket and they all look like ballerinas. They have these,
Yeah.
tall legs and they're skinny and maybe they're a little bit more boobylicious, but the bottom is like kind of flattish. So it's easier for them to look the parts. So for her, I guess it was a little bit more difficult. I don't know. I have my moments.
I
Too.
remember when I was at 5, because after 5 years in the school is when you go, this is what they call elementary in Cuba. Then you go to the 3, that is like the professional, before go to company. And my 5 years in the school, and the last, that is the time that I do in the audition to go, they told me very clear, if you don't go down, you will not, if you don't lose weight, you're going to pass.
Wow.
And here, because all the taboos that are with the, I think it's the media fault a little bit. They don't tell you, hey, you are fat to dance. They have so much scary also to tell you, you need to do in your diet. You don't need to be sick, but you need to do your diet to dance. It's
I
like
think
that.
more than that, it's like
take care,
which was hard in Cuba to do because we always didn't have all the vegetables. It was tomatoes. It was
That's
tomato
true.
everything.
That's
it
true
was
too.
Like cabbage, everything.
pepino.
Oh, it was not. It was hard to eat conscientiously well, not just full of carbs. So what we're trying to say is that here you have the possibility for those kids to just eat a cleaner diet, not die of hunger or not just try to be skinny, but eat well and nutritiously so that your mind and your body are nourished. Instead of in Cuba, it was really whatever you could eat.
Yeah, it's very hard to in Cuba, if they were to tell you, well, you have to lose weight, I would imagine to say, okay, well, I'm just going to eat salads. Right, as opposed to because there, right, because there is no salad to only eat, so it's it's whatever you can, and so that definitely I would imagine, and again, please tell me if I'm wrong in this, what that you wind up having these like extreme situations or that
that like could, if you have limonada, whatever you have, take it.
Yeah, no, porque I mean you have no other options, but. I think you brought up something that I find interesting in that for so long the image of the ballerina, like you were saying, it's the stick skinny girl and this and that. But I think in recent years, with the emergence of like a Misty Copeland, someone who, again, as a black woman, traditionally similar to Latinas, Black women don't have the quote unquote right body for ballet, at least historically speaking, right? And I think people like her and even like yourselves, who are bringing it about and saying like, no, there are different body types and you can still be good at this. You can still make this a career. And it even ties back to what you were saying about how your sister might extend, a finger in one way. It's, you can learn technique. Technique doesn't make you a performer.
No, exactly.
In fact, I believe, and we tell our students, when an audience member goes to see ballet and they leave, whatever they're left with is a feeling. Mm-hmm. In a week, they will forget the color of the dress, maybe, or sometimes they even forget the title of what they're seeing, but the feeling is always remembered. Whatever you were able to transport that person in the moment, that's what they take, and that's what's fascinating about art. Call it painting, call it whenever you look at a painting and it gives you this emotion in the moment, whatever it is, maybe you like more colors, maybe you like more neutrals because you like quiet. That is what the audience member takes. So the more I see it, the more I agree with what you just said. The technique is just a tool to be able to express. For us, it's very important, and it's getting lost in the ballet world. I don't know if in general in the art world, but in the ballet world, it has become very gymnastic, very physical, very how many turns can I do? And sometimes educating the audience that way is also a mistake. Cuban ballerinas were very virtuoso dancers. So at one point, the audience just was going to the theater to see who did more pirouettes or turns than the other girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like they enjoy also
Oh, they both. They do both.
They do both. The problem is that they know so much because they are into. They really love art. They really love ballet, and they have their own dancer. This is my dancer, so they are Lorenistas and they are Lornistas. So it is like that, and they go out in the all the way out what we call gallinero, and they doing fuertes like us,
Yeah.
and they screaming, and they doing your birthday party, and they go with flowers. So they really get into with you when you dance, which I feel that this is beautiful too because it's from generation to generation. Show the kids art too. What we go from to the beginning again. They see art, you know. So it's both thing at the same time. It's virtuosis, but at the same time, it's also, you know, you can see a good dancer and then go out to your home with the good feelings and sleep that night, even after you go in bicicleta to the theater.
Yeah, we had a lot of audience members going on bikes. And,
Wow.
You know, there was this fan following, like, you know, people just admire sports person here. Ballet is almost like a sports there. I think what she was trying to say is that people knew so much because they were so present all the time that they got to understand the technique part or the technical part of the career. So they would know when you had a bad day. Like here, you know,
yeah.
good day, she did the three right there.
They also know when you change one arabesque for one attitude. That is one
Choreography.
step. That is a step on ballet. They know when you change. Oh, you don't need today this. You normally doing that, and you are like, really?
You're like, man, anybody can have a bad day. Come on, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel cute today.
But then those things make you strong. You know, those things make you also alive to go again outside next day if you have to performance to do it for them. You know,
To perform for your audience, yeah. For the people that know.
So you really do it with your, with your heart.
Yeah, no, and of course, because again, it's very clear that you ladies have a passion for it, but there's also something to be said as a performer. If you are performing the same thing day after day after day after day, at a certain point, yes, you love it, but you also want that audience energy because that does then fuel you as well. So you know, you may have walked out on that stage feeling I'm a little tired today, and then all of a sudden, boom, the rush because you're giving it back.
Very beautiful in Cuba, and it's happening in Japan too. It's very similar. I think it's the only country that I remember that is really similar, and we dance in many places. I don't know if Lorena thinks the same, but at the time that you get out from the what we call wings, you cannot hear the beginning of the music because the applause of the audience.
Oh wow!
And it's the more beautiful things that a dancer can hear.
Receive is like this welcoming. Most of the time you get out and you have to concentrate and kind of keep the rhythm and the time that you know in your head because sometimes it goes by 3 minutes.
And that don't happen in all the countries.
Cuba is excellent about that, and Japan too. They love it so much that they, like you were saying, they're showing you, oh my God, we love you so much. We want to see you so badly, and that really makes your soul want to perform for them.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Japan. I know between the two of you, I'm just gonna do a little laundry list here. You have also performed with the Joffrey Ballet, San Francisco Ballet, Ballet Zurich, Boston Ballet, Cincinnati Ballet, the Bolshoi. I know you danced in Belgium. So you ladies have been around, is what I'm saying. But so you must be good at this ballet thing. Is what I'm taking away from it. But you know what I wanted to, because you did mention generational, and I think it would be fair to say that possibly the two most famous pieces of ballet would probably be the Nutcracker and Swan Lake. And you ladies and Giselle, correct. You ladies actually performed together for the first time. If what I read is correct, and it was all Wikipedia, so that is not always accurate. But it says that you ladies performed together for the first time when you did Swan Lake in Boston in 2004. So how did that come about? Was it just one of those where you looked at each other and said, now is why was it the right time at that moment to do that performance together? And
was it Danny who
No, I asked my director because my mom is supposed to come
For
the
the
United
first
States
time.
for the first time. And I asked we were doing our Swan Lake in Boston, and I asked my director because I was dancing with my husband, and I was to him and I was, you don't think it can be a good idea for the audience to have two sisters and the husband on stage?
Family affair. I
And
love
I
it.
explained to him, my mom is coming. She will be so, it will be good for her after many, many years. We never danced each other.
We have never danced
So
together.
I said, you're going to have the premiere in this. You're going to have when the people say ¿cómo tú dices? Cuando dice tú vas a tener la primera.
La exclusiva.
The opening night?
No, la última. You're going to be the one that have the two sisters here and dance together before anybody else. And so it was a little tricky in both ways. But my mom actually didn't come because she had a problem with the visa. And Lorena needed to work in her visa.
No, it was Diane Fleiss who got her here. They wouldn't give her the visa to come as dancer. She spent a number of years without seeing us on stage because we would go to Cuba and visit her in Cuba during her vacation with the companies. But then she never really saw us dance. So it was kind of a double whammy. She hadn't seen me dance or her dance imagined together. It was kind of like sad that she didn't come, but at the same time, it was a celebration no matter what for us because.
And it was, for me, was very nice, very good, but also very nervous.
Of course.
Normally when, no. I normally see my husband dance or dancing with me, and I always are like, I hope everything goes well. I trust in them, of course, but I was like, good, cross my fingers, variation very good. But then both of them dancing, it's almost like I have a heart attack. His variation, her variation, coda was too much. But I feel it was one of the best things that we did and we have a picture at the end, all sweaty with flowers in the hand. It was so beautiful performance. The company, the energy in the company was so beautiful. We were so welcome, the three of us together. So it was a very nice experience. I feel so bad that my mom didn't see that performance, but
Siempre la chiveta de la visa con Cuba.
Sí.
Siempre la chiveta. Yeah. But
you've made me think because I never really thought of that, but I think she was trying to say that you don't have a lot of those opportunities where siblings dance together, let alone with a husband, like really family. It's like a family business.
Not like a dynasty, like a stage.
Or mafia. I don't know.
Italian mafia. And then we dance again in Italy. Not with my husband, but we dance again. But the other side. So in Boston, she did Black Swan.
No, again.
It was the same.
Because we were supposed to trade. Okay, so Carla Fracci, the famous ballerina, invited us to dance there. And I think they liked the whole idea of sharing the roles. And so we were supposed to do Black Swan and White Swan alternating. So one day she would do white, the next day.
I get so sick.
This is one of those stages where you feel like you're dancing in a slide in a park. The old stages were inclined.
European,
yes. A lot of Europe theaters are like that, and it's really good when you have opera or whatever because you see it really well. Now, for the dancers, it's fatal. When you don't train in those stages, it's like climbing, a mountain. Every time you have to go up on the stage or run, so it's really difficult. And we had a partner that came from Holland, I think. So having to do all of the material of the entire ballet with two double whammy because you rehearse with her White Swan and then with me Black Swan, and then the other way around, it was quadruple the work. So he said, oh my God, I would love for you to stay white and for you to stay black. You can. And then Lorna got sick, very sick, like stomach.
Oh no.
Really bad stomach.
Because the school of my kids called me, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So anyway,
I get sick and I remember I eat only banana. Lorena was waiting for her dancing in Black Swan and I did white. And it's the time for my variation. And I didn't eat anything. I was vomiting the whole time. So she had a banana in her hand, and before the variation, she was, yes, eat it. And I was like, eat a piece of banana, to go to stage to dance. It was very bad.
So what you're saying is that when you performed as the White Swan, estabas en blanco.
En blanco.
En blanco.
Estaba completamente blanco. Yeah, and my sister wasn't that evil. She was like a black one. She was really good, really.
Yeah, but you know what? If you had been sick as a Black Swan, she really se lo hubiera visto negro en ese momento. So yes, for sure, okay?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No, it was a really special performance, very special. And me, I like her when I danced with her husband. My heart was like in my mouth because, you know, you just know that you slept the night before and she was sick and the whole entire day because it was a night show. She didn't eat a thing, and I like when you're on the inside, you know what that person is going through. So everything that she did became even more magnificent in my eyes because I thought, how can this woman be so beautiful and so strong on stage when she's feeling so awful? Like anybody else would have canceled the show. Yeah. I see that in like the older generations. Like right now, it's very much allowed. You know, I'm calling in sick. I can't dance.
I'm gonna say that. That is so true.
That was not allowed in Cuba.
Lorena, I remember too. Lorena, not only Lorena, Rolando, when I went dance with him with fever. I think we learned that in Cuba that my mom give a dance period and say go to school.
Sí.
You will not stay at home. You go to school.
Sí.
Aspirin y dale, mija. I think that make us so strong in Cuba that you never, even if you have fever, if you have whatever you want to dance because it's your day, because it's your name there, and the audience coming for you. So you don't want to also disappoint anybody. And you dance so sick. Lorena, I remember when she was dancing also, I think Swan Lake.
It was a Swan Lake and I drenched.
And it's one of the worst ballet to dance with sick. Swan Lake is one of the harder ballet in the world for ballerina. I think for a man it's Giselle, but for a girl, Swan Lake. And then I remember in Japan with Rolando Sarabia and other dancers that they are brothers too. He was sick, and you see the performance on stage, and we always, when I see the video in YouTube, and my husband and I would say, and he was sick that day. I remember that all the time. He was so high fever, and he danced like that, and he danced so well. So you even don't know how a dancer feeling that day. Yeah. And that is something that I remember from Alicia a lot, that she always says, you doesn't matter, you don't always gonna dance the same, because how you feelings is how you wanna dance. You can be one day very happy, or other day very sad, other day that you lose somebody in the family. So, and you dance like that, no matter what. And here, no, I see the new, I don't say that it's bad or no, I just say that it's so different. Mm-hmm. That the new generation just learn, if you have a pain, I don't go. If I have, something.
It's more accepted and it's easier to just say, I'm not.
Which in the way I may feel, maybe we should learn that too, because I don't send my kids, they are sick to the school because I want to be with them. But I think so many factors that it is so different in our country, because it is, but I think make you us so strong.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I mean, how you ladies did it. I mean, we just met today, but I can tell you right now, number one, you're women. And women are strong as hell and can do things even when they think they can't. I don't know where you ladies pull it from, but you pull strength. And on top of that, you're Latinas. So Latina women have an extra layer. And I may be a little biased, but you're Cuban women. So that's another extra layer of tough, okay? Right. And I say that as somebody who was raised by my abuelas, by my mother, by my tias. So you know what? It was, yes, like la mujer cubana, is a next level strength. Yeah.
By the way, today is International Women's Day. So.
It is. When we're recording this, it's International Women's Day during Women's Month. So yes, it's yeah. There's a lot of female representation going on in this month while we're recording this. Yes. Damn it.
Yes.
All right. Bueno, Lorena, thank you both so much for taking time to chat. I mean, I have been to ballets in my life, but I would not by any means consider myself an expert at all. And I think this is the type of conversation that we like to have on our show, because as I said earlier, for the most part, we do chat with people who are creators, whether they be actors, singers, writers, influencers, or what have you. But it's very special to me to have you ladies on, because ballet is is so cultured. And I think people have a misconception that it's, hoity-toity, or that it's, for something snobby, and it's so, upper crust. And sure, there is something to that. But to watch it and just let yourself be immersed in that piece and in that music, and like you said, when there's a dancer who's happy, it's that's going to come across, and if they're sad, it could even enhance the piece because they're bringing something else, and so I just really hope that, if nothing else, because of you ladies, some of our listeners go out and seek some ballet in wherever they're at, because we've got listeners all over the globe. So
that's wonderful for you guys. You're amazing, and I love how you go from Spanish to English. I admire your families, because a lot of kids that were grown in America, they don't speak Spanish, and your Spanish is so perfect and cute too. You have this accent that is hard to encase. You know what I mean? Like, it's so well, but there is a little, like Danny. There's this little thing that is so cool. I love accents in general, but it's very cool. Like, when a Cuban kid is an American and was born here, but he learned out in the States, like he learned it. It's a little different, and it's beautiful. But anyways, talking about ballet, what you say is perfect. But I say to people that ask me, I don't understand ballet. What if I don't understand it? Why would I go see it? And I said, you don't need to understand it. If you get to the audience and you're able to forget your bills, your problems, the telephone calls that you need to make, that did it. Yeah. That artist up there, they transported you and they made you forget all the mundane daily stuff, then you did it.
And also, I want to just say, for something that you said in the beginning, the film, the Black Swan film, it is a drama in ballet. Yes. It is drama. It's drama everywhere. Everywhere. So it's not only ballet, but they make you bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
We don't have plumas from the back.
Are you sure? I don't know, because you both have your back covered. I don't know what's going on back there. I don't know.
My mom did not serve me a grapefruit and an egg every morning.
Bueno, claro que no. Pero hello, en Cuba no hay toronja, por favor. ¿Dónde iba?
Yeah. So it's not that drama. Yes. It is drama, but it's not that.
It's not drama, but not that one.
Not that bad.
Everywhere.
But ladies, again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. Honestly, it's been an immense pleasure, and I hope one day we get to meet in person, even if it's just for un cafecito or
I love un cortadito. Sí, con pastelito de guayaba.
You said that in stereo in a way that makes me think it could not be rehearsed, because that came from both of your faces just became so happy at the mention of a pastelito de guayaba.
You mean that? You mean
yes, Portos.
If you're in LA, Portos. If you're in Miami, I was gonna say in Miami, cada esquina hay uno, so it's Vicky Bakery. Oh my God! Hello. Okay. We need to stop. Okay, son las 12 del día, and I'm already con tremendo hambre, and you're not making it better. Okay, Pero bueno, un abrazo, un beso. Thank you so much.
Igualmente. Chao.
Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.